Yes, now, and welcome back to episode 61 of the Top Loaded podcast. And neither me or Harry have watched the Golding documentary yet. And we was meant to talk about it, but we'll just talk about it next week when we can be bothered to watch 6 hours of Ken Golding talk about himself. But Harry, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, not doing so badly. Thank you, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad at all. It's been a very interesting week for the hobby and football, which is always great. The hobby, especially, there's been quite a lot of releases. Obviously, last week we had the review episode, and the one before that was the London card show. So we've kind of got about 3 weeks to of product to catch up on. And it seems like when we didn't have any specials, there was no product to talk about. And then as soon as we then want to do specials, every product is launched. So we've had Donruss, we've had Liverpool Lineage, we've had Top's first edition UEFA club competitions. Then we've had paper flagship club competitions, whatever you want to call that one. The Liga Select, and we've got other ones coming. So we might as well start talking about that. But it's been quite a successful release period, I'd say, for the hobby within the last few weeks, and some of Panini and Top's better releases of late.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, like you say, like buses, you get none for ages and they all come at once. But no, I think, yeah, we've got a lot of successful releases, I think, over the last sort of couple of weeks. I know also Top's Gold has been flying and Donruss has been doing really well. So yeah, we've definitely seen a massive increase in especially breaking. I know even at London, last weekend. Yeah, we saw a lot of the new releases, new boxes there. So it was good to see like a refresh in terms of an update in some of the new sets that were released. So yeah, it's definitely been a positive change the last couple of weeks in terms of new releases. And I said we've definitely got a lot of catching up to do, and also a lot of previewing for some new releases that have had a couple of previews updated.
Yeah, and I think the first thing to touch on before we do go into the products in depth, obviously we just referred to London Culture, and obviously last week we was talking about what differences will be made for the next show. We didn't know if anything would be changed, and obviously it was confirmed this week that the actual slots allocated for tables were split up between others, which are your middlemans, your like third down collectibles, and people sell like product, and then they're split up into TCG and sports in the terms of sales. So it should be an equal amount on a day, which we kind of alluded to, which we thought would be the case. But it's going to be quite good to see now an equal split. Just be intriguing. Obviously, nearer the time, we've still got pretty much 4 months to the show, but 3.5 months to the show. That what we'll see with floor plans and stuff like that, no doubt. Harry did do a live last week with Aaron from the Grading Club just to talk about what happened at the show, how they want to improve for the future. So you haven't done that. I believe it's still on Investing in Soccer's Instagram page. You can go back into past broadcasting it be in there. But like I say, a good step of making sure it's in equal numbers. Obviously, I think TCG sold out pretty much within seconds. And as of when I was reading this, there's very limited amount. Obviously, released at 6 p.m. We're recording this at 10 p.m. So very limited spots left for sports. So it's good to see, though, that they want to try and balance it out because, like I say, it's just showing that they have listened to the feedback. And hopefully for the next show, it's going to be a bit more of an equal balance.
Yeah, definitely. I think you've hit the nail on the head when they said they're listening to the feedback. I know obviously previously there was a lot obviously of feedback around the queue times, how long it was taking to get in, which they then corrected this time around. Obviously moving over to Eventbrite and just having to scan a barcode, rather than having to sort of check through a list. Obviously, like I said, this time they've taken back on the feedback around how TCG was quite heavy, and I've split the tables directly pretty much in half, and then added a few extra obviously for others in terms of like your third downs and your grading clubs. So yeah, it's good that listen to feedback. Obviously, it's good as another step in the right direction. Hopefully we'll see a much more even split. Obviously heading into the next one, like you say, 3 months away now. I'm sure it'll absolutely fly around knowing us and knowing how it normally is. But yeah, like you said, you can't ask for much more. They're listening to the feedback, they're acting on it. As you say, we've already got an answer in terms of what's going to be different on the next show in terms of TCG/sports, which is good. So yeah, I'm no doubt there's probably sports are sold out by the time this goes live. And probably by the time we finish recording, sports will be sold out. So, but yeah, already looking forward to getting back down there. But you said it's 3 months away, so I'm not going to start thinking about it too much yet.
Yeah, obviously that's at the beginning of August. In between now and then, there is a German show, there's a Scottish show, there's a Northwest show, I believe. If there's any other, there's probably others ones that I've missed because there's quite a few coming up, and then obviously just after the next London, when you have South Coast. So, like I say, it's a bit of a respite for most of us, not including yourself, who's flying out to the beautiful country of Germany at the end of next week. So We will be talking about that next week, obviously, getting your preview of the show. Then be quite good as well because the weekend, like the week after that, we'll be able to actually get the review of you from the show over there. And no doubt you'll be maybe doing some content or even just updating us as we go. Because I think people be quite intrigued. I think there's a lot of people, whereas before they wanted to see the London card show, now are looking at your exotic ones of going to a faraway country and actually want to see some content. So I haven't really seen much stuff out there.
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, for me, it's my first European show. I've only ever been to what the South Coast once in London. So yeah, it would definitely be a new experience for me. I think I'm massively looking forward to it. It's only one day. Land on the Friday and fly back on the Sunday, so we can do a bit of a sightseeing on the Friday and the Sunday, and seeing how many parts of Steins I can get inside of me. As Ronnie's making a great example. But yeah. But no, yeah, I'm looking forward to it massively. Like I said, we'll definitely try and get some content done while I'm there. And definitely also, yeah, update everyone on the pod as to the preview and then the aftermath. So, but yeah, really looking forward to that. Fly out a week on Friday. So hopefully, I'll be wearing the Mercedes top. Only right there at the German Grand Prix. It's at the Hockenheim Ring, which obviously is the home of the German Grand Prix. So only right I go there matching attire. But no, yeah, massively looking forward to it. And I said we'll definitely come back on the pod and obviously update you guys on how it was. But yeah, no respite for the wicked.
Yeah, no doubt. We're looking very much seeing that. And I know the collector base in not just Europe, but especially Germany is growing massively. So no doubt it'll be one of them that a lot of people will consider going to in the future. Like I say, Germany's not the longest flight either for people in the UK, especially for us down south. You can get to certain parts of Germany within an hour and a half. So it's perfect. I know, as we've said before, there's a Paris show been set up, an Amsterdam show that's been set up. So there's quite a few shows popping up now around Europe, which I think is going to give the collector in all of us the chance of not just going to another show, but also having a little break as well with it, which is going to be really nice. But we will talk about some of the products that come out recently and how we find them, how they're going, will we pick up stuff? Because, like we say, Panini and Topps have brought out a few each, which has been quite intriguing. So we'll start on the Topps front. And the one that I want to talk about first is the Topps Lineage Liverpool set. For people who haven't seen this, it's more of a higher end set for Liverpool collector, for any collector, but obviously it's only Liverpool cards in it. So you get a pack of cards. I think it's about 8 in there or something or other. You get 4 or 5 base, you get 2 numbered parallels, and then you get a special one where it's like when you was a kid and you got the little pieces of card, which you show it one way, it shows you one thing, and then one the other way. But it's quite cool. I see a Jamie Carragher, Virgil van Dijk, and there's a few other legends ones, which is
There's
really
Darwin Nunez and Luis Suarez duel as well, isn't there?
And then obviously you get 3 mad cards, which are 3 autos. Normally you can get a chance of a dual. Normally it's only 1 dual auto per 4 or 5 boxes on average, I think it is. And then get 2 obviously normal autos, which are some really nice cards in there, I've got to admit. Obviously, I don't know every single Liverpool player in there. Obviously, most Liverpool fans probably will have a better idea on the academy players, but obviously it does feature the wording first Bowman, which is a Topps term, obviously, for when someone has their first card, and which we'll be seeing a lot more on whenever it's meant to be released. There was meant to be a Topps Bowman Chrome set for the under 23 Euros or World Cup about 3.5 months ago, which is still not out, but it's in the pipeline. So just aesthetically, I think it's very nice. I would compare it to more of maybe of an immaculate if I had to compare it to a Panini product. But your first thoughts, obviously, putting the Liverpool bit aside, it's actually a very nice set, and it's nice to see these non-thousands of pounds, actual non-Topps Chrome, basically more higher end sets of football clubs.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're saying probably the closest comparison we've got are these sort of Chrome team sets like we've seen with PSG. But yeah, I think, I know we had quite an in-depth first look when Trade We ripped a box in front of us, obviously at London, as soon as we got there on the Saturday. So, and I think even Elliot said when we were there, the box itself was actually really nice as well. Like if you're a Liverpool fan, I mean, you got to be all over it. I know obviously there was a couple of screaming and shouting at trade night at London with a couple of big pulls that were hit. I said one of them being obviously the Darwin Nunez and Luis Suarez dual auto. So I think aesthetically it is a really nice set. I do love how they've got 3 cars already magged up, autos. I know we've spoken about it just before we come on here about how we'd love to have an Arsenal one. I'm sure obviously getting the license is another matter. But oh yeah, I think it's really, really nice set. I love the team sets. Like I said, we are just literally waiting for an Arsenal one to be released. But no, I think the whole aspect of it is really, really good. So a lot of nice autos in there. I know there was a issue with the Ferran Torres
Yep.
auto being on the Fernando Torres card, which is again typical top. So you can't really have too much to say about that. But no, it's a really nice set. I think because you're not always guaranteed. I don't know what then sort of numbered guarantee cards there are. Because there was a couple of autos that we saw that weren't numbered, or there was a very rare you'll get sort of a couple of the base cards that were numbered.
Yeah.
But yeah, so even the cards been a little bit thicker. Quite like that. So yeah, I think all in all was pretty. So if you're a Liverpool fan, nothing really not to like about it, in my opinion. There's a couple of plays in there that I was a bit like, I've never heard of them. Never heard of them. Like, there's a couple of them in there that I think you're going to get naturally anyway. But yeah, I quite rate it, to be honest with you. I think it's not too bad if you're a Liverpool fan.
No, I definitely agree with you there. I think it's one of them that obviously it appeals more to the Liverpool collector in this. And I think when it was priced, I was quite intrigued. When I see the initial preview of it, I was thinking, I wonder how much these boxes would cost. I think I predicted about 400-500. Obviously, we didn't really know the actual build up of the box at the time. 3 autos and obviously the pack cards. Well, but about £200 retail from Topps' website, I think was a fantastically priced product. If I were a Liverpool fan, it's obviously not every single person's got £200 to kill on a box or be able to afford it. But then it kind of filters it way down that the actual break prices are not too bad either for because there's quite a few players in the checklist. Obviously, your Gerard Owen. I think most people have a Gerard Owen and Harvey Elliott set because they've got dual O's in like combinations between them. But £200 for a box is very decent, especially if you look at your PSG crowd. Obviously, I know you had a guaranteed Mbappe on card, Messi on card, Neymar on card, Sergio Ramos on card. But 10 grand, you're looking at a 10 grand box and thinking, can I really afford not just afford it, but can I make my money back on this? I've seen base autos from that set of the Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi go for. I think the Neymar cheapest one I've seen is probably about 750. I think the Mbappe is probably about 1,500 and Messi's about 1,500. So if you got the base of them three, you're struggling to recoup any money.
And you saw it more and more that the lower numbered ones that were pulled, the prices were gradually decreasing because, the one of one Mbappe got pulled, the one of one Messi got pulled, the one of one Neymar got pulled. And also then boxes that people are holding are just slowly coming down in price now all the one of ones have been pulled. So it's that game of cat and mouse where you hold it and the big players get pulled, prices decrease.
Exactly. I think that's what works with this Liverpool set so well at £200. Obviously, there's going to be boxes that you won't make money on, guaranteed. But it's going to be cards that you're going to. It's probably quite an interesting box to work out the actual hit of actually just breaking even and making profit. I'm sure it's a lot higher than other sets. So I think that was a very good release from Topps. Like I say, hope we see something similar with some of the other set like teams as well. Like it would be, I know it'd be more expensive, but like they've got Chelsea license. I wonder if they do a Chelsea one, Man City license. They've got even teams like Atletico Madrid, PSG, Bayern Munich. I'd love a Bayern Munich one. Some of the chases in there would be lovely. So be interesting to see if they go along the lineage route of any other teams. But like I said, I think that was a very good release from Topps. And I don't think there's many. I don't, for once, obviously, apart from the Ferran Torres auto on the Fernando Torres car, I actually haven't seen many complaints about the set, which is very well off for Topps because obviously, you know how it is with any release. There's always people picking it apart. But moving on to the next one, I know you already have a card from this set, so you are liking it. Obviously, it's a new season now of the UEFA club competitions. In the past, a few years ago, it was just Champions League, and then they've obviously introduced Europa League and the Conference League into these sets. But originally, the first edition was the first one to come out, which was a very good release because you was guaranteed really lower numbered stuff, whereas the normal paper, which come out this week, is numbered up to 399, I believe. I actually think the normal paper is only to 50 or to 75, which is obviously considerably lower. But aesthetically, it's obviously a preview for Chrome as well, would be along the same kind of scheme. I know you have a lovely to 25 one, which you're going to tell the people about now, which they have seen already. But I actually really do like the design of these Topps first edition and paper ones before we go into more of like some of the shorter print stuff as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I picked up a Saka orange to 25 from from the first edition set. So they are really nice cards. I think, for us, obviously the red to 5 with the colour match, obviously for Arsenal is such a beautiful card. I know I think Smith Rowe also to 5. I think I've seen that Jesus base to 5. I say base as in normal to 5. So yeah, I think they were really, really nice cards. I think it's a really nice release. Some are hit and miss with it being paper. It's very Marmite. People either love it, people either hate it. We've seen it obviously with the F1 flagship. I seem to have a thing for flagship, obviously with my Gunfersteiner Rainbow as well. So whether that's the talking point. But no, I think it's a really nice release. Instead, it's moving us then swiftly into when Chrome gets released to see what we can expect. It's very much down the same route as your F1. They're releasing the flagship first, then release the Chrome. But no, I think it's quite a nice release. There's some nice cards in there. The numbered cards look really nice. Said first edition as well. So yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that obviously Chrome will always have the higher price point. Chrome will always be that go-to. But I think for a cheaper alternative as in paper, I mean, we said about before, the boxes were quite highly priced. I think everyone can probably admit that the price was very high for a paper set. But like we said, there's some nice number cards, really nice design, and I guess it opens the eyes up to when Chrome gets released as to what we can expect.
Yeah, I fully back that one, especially like I say, I think it was retailing at about 80 quid. I think it was on the Tops thing, or 70 or 80, give or take. And I think in America already it's about $70 the actual box price. So obviously, if you're buying in America, it makes sense. Well, obviously, what people see is that, oh, it's the same price in dollars and pounds. All right, then put your shipping on that, put the tax on it, and everything like that, and then it comes over to £120. So, yeah, it's a nice rip. It's one of them what's considered a cheaper rip than obviously Chrome will probably be retailing in the 250 area, I would imagine. But looking at some of the cards in the set, which I've been very impressed with. And one of them, especially, there's a dual auto of Andrea Pirlo and Kaká, which looks incredible, really nice. And then they've got these short print cards, which obviously is known as variations. And there's one, I've seen a couple of them now. I've seen the Mbappe and I've seen the Messi, I believe, but the Kaká one is incredible. It's after he won the Champions League, obviously, with AC Milan. He's got the Champions League trophy on his head, and it's just a beautiful looking card. So all I can imagine, if that is in Chrome, the prices on that will go skyrocketing because it's an iconic picture. And that's one thing people always have a bit of shade on Topps and Panini, is that the picture choice is never the best. I know, obviously, back in the earlier days of Chrome, 2017, Mark, there was variations as well. Obviously, you've had it more lately with Stadium Club and other Chromes as well. But having these variations to look out are so nice, especially iconic moments. It would just be nice to see more of them. But I can't say anything. I've actually really liked the looks of this one. I probably will pick up some more, even though the Arsenal checklist is not the best out of it. But I might maybe pick up a Muller or a Neymar along the route somewhere. But there is another paper product coming out, which is Top Superstars, which is I've been speaking to a few people who know about the set a bit more, and it's basically the Topps equivalent of Score. So it's going to be retail cheap. I think the hobby boxes are due out this week, and the blasters as well, which will be in retail shops from, I believe it's Wednesday or Thursday, I think it is, which will be rather intriguing. Obviously, another release in stores for people to try out. Should hopefully be the £20 to £25 area for a rip. Obviously, blasters, I always do remind people.
You know where else is stocking the Top Superstars?
There we go.
Game.
Oh, lovely. Right, everyone
They're back in game, $24.99, pre-order now. Release date's the 11th of May.
Right, so that's 2 weeks' time. Right, lovely. Right, so everyone set your calendars for that one.
We're queuing outside the old game stores again in the morning.
Yeah, so hopefully, like I say, it's just nice to be able to get your hands on some retail product. Obviously, I always do remind people with blasters, obviously, the hit rate is very much lower. It could be similar to Merlin Chrome, but the Merlin Chrome blasters are one of the most...
so they're called value boxes.
There we go.
So they get 9 packs, so 72 cards in total, and you get 4 exclusive fire and ice parallel cards, a superstar relic cards, and then obviously plus the ultra rare 1-of-1 superstar autograph relic parallel cards as well. But so yeah, you get 4 exclusive guaranteed fire and ice parallel cards. It doesn't show the breakdown of how many numbered cards you get per box. But yeah, they're called value boxes. But yeah, $24.99 to be fair, so it's not actually that bad.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely pick one up. I'll try and pick one up. I would say I will pick one up.
Where am I on the 11th of May?
Yeah, that's what I need to put down there, because we'll definitely try and get a couple of them for.
I'm working 9-6.
We'll get one to review on the podcast and obviously on personal channels as well. I will try and remember that date. I know a certain El Toro will be trying to get down there to open one up on his YouTube channel, like we did with the Merlin Chrome and managed to get one of them. But like I say, it's nice just to see releases. And last but not least from Tops, because with this Superstars one, I did laugh when they first put it out, and I think everyone else had a bit of a laugh with it and laugh and giggle, but they did put out promo pictures, which was lovely. A nice Benzema, it was a nice die cut, and then it featured a beautiful autograph card of Ronaldo, obviously Ronaldo Nazario, R9, and featured yet again CR7's auto. And then miraculously, 12 hours later, they put out new promo material where it was not Ronaldo CR7's auto, but it was R9's auto. So hoping in the actual set it's R9 auto, which I'm trying to get my head around. So someone's photoshopped the image with CR7's auto on it, then photoshopped R9's auto on it. So which one's going to be in it? I'm going to say CR7 again. Rather than not just do redemptions or something along that line, it's going to be intriguing. So we'll definitely have to, hopefully it's R9's auto on it or CR7, like whatever way around it is, hopefully you get the right auto, because I still don't know what's the procedure with Tops with it when you get the wrong Ronaldo auto. But I think recently, obviously, yeah, again, Living Set's still been ticking along. Project 22 is nearing its expiry. I think months. I think it's only got about 6-7 weeks left. But it's been quite a successful few weeks for Tops. And obviously, the next couple of weeks are going to be quite interesting as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like I say, we've got a lot of releases coming up. It's been probably still a successful last couple of weeks, and with a lot of, I think it's good that we've got some more product coming into game now. I know obviously it was a bit of a manhunt. Obviously last time I had people driving all over the place to try and get these different game stores to try and get hold of the products. But I think it's good to have these products coming into UK stores and seeing how popular they are. And obviously you've got the value boxes and you've got like the hanger packs, little square boxes that you hang on the shelving. So we've got two different types that are going to be coming out. So hopefully there's more product, and hopefully they listened from Merlin last time round and ordered about a busload into each store of the product. So as I said, a lot to look forward to coming up. A lot to already enjoy from the last couple of weeks. Looking forward to seeing what the next few weeks brings and seeing what more products are a success.
Yeah, and obviously now we move on to their counterparts, which is Panini, which has been a very interesting few weeks for them. Obviously, everyone's waiting for us to talk about cards, but there's only one place I'm starting with Panini. And at the end of May, they are releasing the FIFA Women's World Cup stickers, which I can't wait for. I'll probably be getting a box of them in, even though I say to myself, never do it. Women's World Cup is a bit of an exemption for me because I want to collect all the Arsenal players anyway. But we're quite intrigued to see some of the parallel, like if they do parallels again, like the men's, or they don't go along that route, or even what kind of checklist it is. Because obviously, with this one, all they've done so far is literally put the sticker design, like the actual pack out. So we don't know what the actual stickers look like. We just know what packs we're going to be buying tons of to try and complete our sets. But moving on to actual sets that have been released, and obviously there was one big one a few weeks ago that obviously come out prior to the London Card Show, which was Donruss. Very similar makeup at the boxes in comparison to last year's, where you have the optics and you have the paper-based ones. Rather than a laser design on the paper-based ones this year, you've got more of it's like a speckle design, which is quite nice. Actually nicer in person than it actually I thought it was going to be. And then your usual 100 different inserts. You've got Night Moves case hit, which is really nice, and Kaboom's as well. But early thoughts on, well, not even early thoughts now, about a month into Donruss. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I do think it's nice. I think the Net Marvels insert, I think, has taken a bit of a spin. I think it's gone from what was I think it is still very cartoony, but I think I saw a one-of-one Saka Net Marvels pulled, and I think the card design is so nice. There's a lot of nice, beautiful game autos. Obviously, there's some nice Kabooms. I know I've seen a lot of the Zidane Kabooms pulled. But yeah, the early thoughts, I like it. I think the boxes are quite priced quite well. There are probably, I think, within the region of about, I think, 250. I think I saw at London. There's box of Donruss. But yeah, like I said, I think the initial thoughts are really nice. I said a lot of the nice inserts. Big fan of Kaboom. Big fan of Net Marbles. Like you said, there's a lot of nice, beautiful game auto players in the checklist. But yeah, I quite like this new Optic Dragon parallel as well. I know that's number to 8. I think it's a really nice parallel, which I think is new from last year. I could be wrong, but yeah, initial thoughts are quite positive. I think it's a nice set.
Yeah, I think they just rebrand. You know, top
Yeah,
they love a rebrand. I think it was just red gold last year with the Team All exclusive. So I think they just renamed it as Dragon this year just to make it sound a bit more interesting and cool. But no, I do agree. I do think it's obviously a good release skin from Donruss. Not one of ones I normally pick up much of. I've got entered a few breaks into Saka and a few other players just to see if I can get any cards, but it's one of them that it kind of levels itself out quite well. The prices of it, they're quite decent for the lower size parallels. Because it's such a big checklist. I think you've got 300 players and you've got so many parallels per just paper and optics. So you can normally get to like 99s for like 5 to 10 quid of some players. Obviously, your Messi's, Ronaldo's, Haaland's, and Mbappe's will go for a bit more, but it's normally quite well priced on us. Looks good. Grading, I'm not too sure yet because we haven't seen many of them come back from grading, so it'd be quite intriguing to see what the QC is like on the product. But of what I've seen, it's looked decent, and the dual autos are a nice return. Shame it's not on card auto, the beautiful games, but
yeah.
there's some really nice dual autos. Obviously, Rodrigo and Vinicius is a very nice one. There's obviously a Maradona dual auto as well, which I think was I think it's like I actually think there's only like 15 of them all in all with parallel. So like I say, I think Donruss was a very nice release yet again. And moving on to another release, which I think was fantastic. And for people who don't collect the Liga, it might not be as intriguing, but it was the return of Select. Obviously, of more recent times, Select is featured in Chronicles rather than get its own name set. So what they've done this year, they've split it up into 3. You had La Liga come out first, you're going to have Premier League, and you're going to have Syria. All teams from the each division is in the set, which is fantastic. Because I know with Chronicles, sometimes you only get like a player in it, and that's about it. But featuring some incredible patch cards, which I've seen, some beautiful autos, parallels is sensational. And I think for a Real Madrid collector, I was actually reading a very interesting post on Facebook about this last night. It's one of the only sets that you can actually get a color match parallel for Real Madrid of having a white one. Obviously, you have like white speckles and stuff like that in other sets, but an actual white base parallel, which makes it really nice. You obviously got the zebra prints, you've got tie dye, which is one of my favorite ones. So I'm very happy to see that return. Tie dye auto patch autos are something out of this world. I see a messy one. I was just like, it was literally a part of the badge auto, but very good set. Team badges have made a return in that. No parallels of them. You can just get the base badge, but it's really nice to see. So Select is obviously coming to the Premier League, I believe, the week of this release, and Syria is in about a couple of weeks. But Select, it's nice to see it get its recognition again as one of their premier sets for Panini.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been hidden, not hidden, but it's been quite sort of suppressed being in Chronicles. And I think to make it and come out with its own set now, like you said, tie-dye and zebra for me are two of probably the nicest parallels. For some reason, I thought camo was in Select, but that's obviously
It
not.
used to be. It used to be.
That's what I thought it was. But yeah, no, tie-dye and zebra for me, yeah, two of the nicest parallels. So it's good that it's finally got its own full product now. I think we'll see that popularity and rise when it gets released. And no doubt we'll see a lot of breaks happening with all 3 products. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing in hand, seeing what it's like in person. I know the card designs from some of the previews are really nice. I know like the mezzanine silver looks nice. And even like the horizontal cards as well. I think a lot of them do look really nice. So yeah, definitely going to try my luck on some of the tie-dye and zebras, and also like the tiger for me and Prism's really nice. So yeah, the zebra and the tie-dye for me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think, like I said, it's good to have Select now. It's still got its own full product again. I say it's obviously been in Chronicles for the last few years. So yeah, looking forward to seeing obviously seeing how it looks when it gets released.
Yeah, obviously, hopefully by next time we do our recording, the checklist is out. Obviously, Panini are one for those to. They don't give you much time to look over the checklist before buying your boxes or spots. It's literally normally as of the day you get the checklist. But moving on to another product that's coming out very soon, and we've got our first sneak peeks of it, which is one of self-confessed favorite set. One of my 2, my favorite Panini set, definitely, and obviously Harry's as well. It is impeccable. Is returning again for the Premier League. I do feel sorry for any other fans who don't collect Premier League because it's only ever Premier League. Like, it would be quite nice to see like a Benzema impeccable stuff like that. Would be quite nice to see, but obviously It's returning as a Premier League exclusive only. So if anyone wants to see any images, if you head over to Cardboard Connection, I know they have the trial images on there, and it's a very nice product yet again. Base design is always going to be roughly about the same. Less black background this year, which is nice. A bit more color it looks in the background, which should make it pop a lot more. But there's one main set to talk about within this one, which is we see a Wayne Rooney Hall of Fame card, which is the first high-end Hall of Fame cards. Obviously, there was the ones that you could get on the Panini website originally. I think if you ordered X amount, you got a free box. I think basically when Elite come out or Score it was, which was lovely. Some really nice parallels in there, but nice to see a higher end one, obviously with autos on as well. So with the Wayne Rooney one, it's quite intriguing that the Hall of Fame one is not from when he broke on the scene at Everton, not when he won all the Premier Leagues at Man United. It's when he returned back to Everton. So it's quite an intriguing picture use. Panini might have just gone with the most recent pictures, but it's going to be
come up on Google Images.
Yeah, most likely. They've just gone on Getty Images and gone, right, Wayne Rooney, Premier League, right, cool, done. But has potential to be a very nice set in the future. Obviously, likes of Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp for us, and the amount of legends that are going to get into Hall of Fame. Who knows, we can one day dream of a Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger autograph cards, or even just a generic Arsene Wenger card, which would be lovely because there's not been one of them released in God knows how long. But impeccable is impeccable. We're going to look forward to this one, even though we're going to be looking at afar because it's a very expensive set.
Yeah, I think impeccable pretty much speaks for itself in terms of the caliber. Yeah, massively looking forward to it. I think, like I said, we'll look to pick up some of their cards when they're a bit cheaper and bit far gone after release date. So, but I said the Hall of Fame cards look fantastic. I mean, I know a lot of the parallels are really nice from just the general cards I said when you got up the free box. But I think to make that now into the impeccable set. So I think I don't think they'll be on card. I think they'll be sticker autos. But I think the card design is so nice. You've got the little sponsored by underneath the Hall of Fame and the black sort of paint marks on the back. So I think it's gonna be a really nice set. Said obviously looking forward to seeing the Henry ones pulled. It is an expensive set. Yes, high risk, high reward. So I'm definitely looking forward to watching a lot of breaks of those. But yeah, I said impeccable speaks for itself. It's always the best set. Like I said, I feel sorry for any other league that people follow that don't have impeccable, because it is one of probably the nicest set that Panini have ever released. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing what those look like, especially in hands. Love the thicker cards, thicker mags. So yeah, looking forward to seeing. I said I'd love an Arsene Wenger that ever get released, whether that be just a general base impeccable. If they can find an auto from him somewhere, because I don't think I've ever seen a Wenger auto anywhere with any set. And obviously Futera did obviously Wenger, I think relic card. So yeah, hopefully one day they'll release a Wenger impeccable. But for the time being, yeah, definitely looking forward to that one being released.
Yeah, and the last Panini set to review, and you can actually review it very well because you did open a box for it at the London Card Show, which is obviously the more price-friendly Score, which you did open a box of. So obviously the box was not the greatest in terms of the actual parallels, but the actual look at the cards, was it good? How would you see that set?
Yeah, I rate Score. You pretty much hit the nail on the head when you said obviously it's that more price-friendly set. It's not massively expensive. The price speaks for itself. It's a fun set, and like we said, you can go pick them up in Smiths. It's great that they're accessible in that way. And you hit a low numbered card like a 1 of 1 or a 5 or anything like that. The parallels are really nice. I think I hit her to 25 Harvey Elliott, and then I think I got Conor Gallagher to 75. Another, I can't remember it was that bad. But yeah, like I said, it's a fun rip, cheap rip, a good bit of laugh. Yeah, wouldn't probably rush back to get another box. I've seen some nice cards pulled. I think there's some nice. I think because there was a case hit that no one knew was a case hit. I think it's that theatre card. I forget what it's called.
Up next or something.
Up next, yeah, something like that. Yeah. I don't think people realize actually they were case hits. I think like is it the Intergalactic?
Yeah.
Last time around was a case hit. So, yeah. So fun rip, cheap rip. Wouldn't rush back to another box, but yeah, it's a nice fun product. It's a price friendly, so you can't ask for much more really. But yeah, my box just wasn't the best.
Yeah, like I say, I think score is it's always going to be similar to what it is the prior year. As you say, it's more of a friendly on the wallet set. Get some nice parallels. Obviously, you don't expect to get a ton from any of your parallels realistically. Even one-on-ones don't go for ridiculous amount of money. Obviously, you get the nice rookies in there. I know they had like Garnacho, Saliba, but even their ones, because they've in so many other sets now, that it's what like watered down their prices quite a bit in terms of the lower end stuff. But been a very intriguing release period. Obviously, it's going to be a lot more coming up as well. Obviously, we didn't mention likes of Obsidian, which is due out very soon. So it's going obviously Chrome, Sapphires, hopefully women's Chrome. It's getting to that busy time. Chronicles, we haven't heard much about that yet. So we're expecting that to be released again at some point. So it's going to be the next 2-3 months be very busy in terms of releases. Obviously, it's a shame that some of them will be released after the end of the season when the season's not as much high pomp and people are on holiday and stuff like that. It would have been really nice to get the sets out between like your January and May, but obviously there was other situations happening that they couldn't control and tops, which have made it delayed. But obviously we talked about Impeccable. We're looking forward to that. Women's stuff. Is there any cards out there at the moment of the recent releases that you got your eyes on or thinking to go back for? Or is it a case of you're waiting to see these new sets? Because like for me, I think I'm just hoping that they do put Mr. Xhaka in the select because it's going to be a great one to chase.
Yeah, I can't lie. I was about to say I'm going to say one that I think you're going to envy, but I'm quite looking forward to this Shaka Auto in Topps Gold. I've seen a few of them pulled. Prices are a bit all over the place at the moment. But it's one of those where I'm thinking like, you don't ever see a Shaka Auto that much. And I know you're probably one of the only Shaka collectors that I know, in terms of actually Shaka himself rather than just Arsenal. But I think I would like to get hold of a Shaka Auto from Topps Gold. I think there's been some nice pulls from the Topps Gold set. Otherwise, for me, it's just still chasing this bloody Gunther Steiner to 5 from Flagship. I still ain't found it. But no, I think, like I said, most of my attention is on Germany next weekend, and so I'll pick up some stuff from there. And obviously when we get back, I'll obviously have a focus on trying what I'm looking for next. But yeah, after a successful weekend at London, in terms of a good few pickups, yeah, all eyes are on Germany now. But if anything, it would be that Shaka Auto from Topps Gold.
Yeah, it's definitely the prices are quite high at the moment. I do believe it's his first autograph card since 2015 when he was at Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Only you would know that.
It has been quite a while. That card does not come up much. Trust me on that one. I've seen one come up in 6 years. And even that went for about 120, but that was just before they announced he's signed recently. So hopefully that will slowly trend downwards. The price of that one's obviously it's I think it's in the ballpark of 80 to 120 at the moment. But as the more sets come out, the more things. I really wish they put him in Merlin because that would have been really nice to get his autographs in Merlin. But obviously we'll wait for more sets to be released. Obviously Gold has got some really nice cards in it. I was in our good friend Lewis's LGL breaks stream the other day when he pulled it to 10 Xhaka, and obviously fair play to the other guy because I think he priced it about comps. I think the to 5 went for about 70 quid on it, and he wanted 50 for the to 10. But I said no, it's probably. I just thought in 2 months' time, any of them sets when they're just a bit out of the limelight, they drop so much in price. That to 10 will probably be 30, 35 quid soon. But definitely Xhaka's on my watch list, and obviously you're talking here about trying to chase down cards, and I nearly had a heart attack this morning because anyone who deals with like trying to complete a rainbow or searching for an individual card, everyone has this saved eBay searches, which they do pretty much every day, if not every few days. And my one is Burnt Leno Donruss. And I get a ping every morning. There's always one new one listed up. And it's the same cards on rotation for the past 2 years. There's a green number to 50 listed for 50 or 59 or $69, which no one's buying in this world. It's not a $70 card. It's more like a $7 to $8 card. And then there's an unnumbered orange. So I was like, loaded up. Little blue dot. I'm like thinking, all right, here we go. Nice orange. And the blue to 75, which I've been chasing for 2 years now. And I kind of looked at it and I was like, nah, that can't be it. I was like, I must have that one. I must have got it wrong. And obviously, here's the one. So it's in auction in Hong Kong, which I think is about 10, 15 quid postage, which don't matter. I don't care. I will hopefully be. I've put an offer in. No doubt someone in this video is going to have a laugh with me now and go and put a $30 bid on it or something. Very funny. Anyone does that. But
I'll leave the link on the bio of the podcast channel. Yeah.
yeah, I'll see that floating around in all the group chat soon. But no, yeah. So hopefully, I think it's got about a week or so left on that one. So hopefully, that could near enough end the rainbow hunt. There'll be one more card left in the rainbow, which is an infinite, non-numbered parallel, which I just haven't come up. What is people see it's unnumbered and they just don't even bother listing it up. So hopefully that one will come up
Yeah.
as well, and then that could be the true rainbow completely done, which would be 2 years of effort slowly coming to an end. I would have all the numbered parallels, hopefully. So I'll update. Hopefully by the next time we record, roughly it's about ending, I believe. If not, I'll put an update obviously on my social media as soon as it happens. But yeah, like I say, I think even Donruss, I'm not really chasing much. I was hoping Switzerland got into it, but they didn't make the cut, sadly, or even Arsenal, but they didn't make the cut. So maybe a Saka here and there if there's a good price one. But like I say, it's now impeccable. Look forward to seeing that checklist. But mainly for me, it will be waiting for select and hopefully a nice checklist with some nice autos. Obviously, the tie dyes. Obviously, I collect Gabriel, so you never know. There could be a nice Gabriel tie dye auto to chase, which would be fantastic. But I think, like I say, it's interesting now. Like you said, you've got Germany next week. I know a lot of people now building up to the nationals at the end of July. I know it's far away, but obviously before then, there is the Scotland Card Show with the UK Card Show Awards the evening of it. And then you've got other shows coming up as well, which is going to be very intriguing. Hopefully, trying to get to some other ones if the schedule allows us to, which trying to get two calendars to sync up on a card show weekend is very difficult. But like I say, London was great fun talking to you. And I think that I've no doubt Harry will agree with this, but the support's been unbelievable the last few weeks actually on the podcast, hitting brand new numbers, which we hadn't been hitting before. So we'd just like to say, yeah, again, everyone who's listening or watching along, thank you so much for the brilliant support. Obviously, it was 61 episodes down now over a 62-week span. Obviously, there'll be a lot more to come. But any closing words from yourself on episode 61, my friend?
Only that I'm sorry that there's no pickups.
Oh,
I'm disappointed in myself,
yeah.
but no, yeah. I mean, there's not too much left. Obviously, it's like you said, did to what you said in terms of thank you everyone for the continued support. It really does go a long way. Like I said, we're just aiming for the next milestone now in terms of views, followers, subscribers, listens. So, but yeah, roll on Germany in 2 weeks.
Yeah, like I say, we look forward to bringing you another episode next week. Hopefully, next week we've got we're talking to a few people trying to get them on as a guest appearance, but no doubt we'll be trying to get that along, as well as thank you everyone who reached out. There's quite a few people saying different people they'd like to see on the show, and obviously we will try and get some of them on. But until next time, if you are watching on YouTube, do drop a subscribe and press a little like button down below. It helps us massively of getting out to more people on YouTube and then also on all other platforms, Spotify, Apple, and we're now on Amazon Podcast and Google Podcast. We're on the whole shebang, so there's no getting away from us. But until next week, hope everyone out there is staying safe, doing well, buying, selling, trading, and all of that jazz. But until next time, happy hobbying and good night.